Hello and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be using this piece of pallet wood that I've had for probably a year. It's really heavy for a piece of pallet wood, so it's definitely not pine. And I also need to practice a design, if you like. I'm about to pull the trigger on a new bench drill. The first project I want to do is make some bottle openers. I've already got the Forstner bits ready. I've got some Bosch Forstner bits. So I just kind of want to test to see if these are any good before the drill arrives. So I'm going to try and use just a small piece of this to create a prototype, if you will, of a bottle opener. And if the prototype works, well then a bench drill and my table saw and all of the patterns that I'm going to use, should be able to crank out a few of these. Throw them on Etsy, make some money. Probably won't even cover the cost of the drill. That's woodworking for you though. First thing I did with that beautiful piece of pallet wood was I ran it through the thicknesser a few times. I'm trying not to take off too much material, but I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like under all that weathering. I did of course make sure to take all of the nails out and made sure to double check that I'd got the nails out. Thicknesser blades are not cheap. I told you this wood was pretty. It is really dense, but there's all kinds of cool little patterns in it. I wish there was a way to kind of keep this live edge, but I don't feel like it's going to work for my application. Having said that, there's maybe a way. Maybe. First thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to try and ignore this end, because if I can figure out a way to keep that live edge and feature that in this bottle opener design, I will. I think what I'll do is I'm going to sacrifice this part with the nail holes, because it's not just the nail holes here. There's a split along the wood and this is going to be too small to do anything about that. I think what I'll do is I'll try and use this section here just for my prototypes. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut it there, feed it through the table saw, and if I've got enough width I'd like to split this into two just to try and maximize. I can't get another piece of wood like this, just need to maximize that. Over on the miter saw I just cut the end of that piece of wood off, leaving that chunk with all the live edge bits to see if I can use it on another project. Then over to the table saw to split this wood into two equal widths. However, there was an incident. And that's that split down the wood I was talking about. Don't ever try and push through. If you feel this kicking back at all, don't be a muppet and try and push through it. Move back if you can, stop it if you can, forget about it. Because that might look small, but that sharp pointy end, that could impale you quite easily. After a slightly more successful run at it the second time round, I was left with two lengths of wood. Now, I don't even need one of these lengths, I only need about half of one, but I'm figuring I can use them in the future, especially if I'm going to be rattling out some of these bottle openers. So my next step is to see if I can use a Forstner bit in a hand drill to drill straight enough and accurately enough and deep enough to embed that into this piece of wood. Now, I know a lot of people say that you don't need a pillar drill or a bench drill and that they're overrated, but me personally, I need one. I have a massive inability to drill at a 90 degree. I just can't do it. I also am terrible at gauging depth. So for me personally, this will improve my woodwork. I do get people's arguments for not needing them, but I kind of need one. Also, I very much appreciate you all taking the time to comment and vote on the poll I asked the other day on which one to get. I don't appreciate you choosing the most expensive one to get. The wife certainly doesn't. Anyway, time to try and be accurate. So I've got a big old Forstner bit which is the same size as this. I'm going to use 2 clamps just so that I don't have to worry about the wood moving and I can focus purely on me putting this hole in the right place. Right, so I'm going to bring you in on this part. If you line the very corner of your square or straight edge or whatever you call it, a ruler in my eyes, up with that corner point and then pick a measurement. I'll choose 7. So you can see the 7 is perfectly in line with the corner there, or the side. You mark a line. Now you do exactly the same on the other side, and as long as you use that 7, that same measurement, that cross will perfectly be in the center of that board. No messing around trying to move the line down and figure out where it is and whatnot. The other good thing is, for my purposes, it means that this circle will be an equal distance from there, there, and there. And that kind of matters to some people. Maybe it should start mattering to me. Recently I've been slowly starting to replace my drill bits, my router bits with better bits. And these Forstner bits were not cheap. I'll link them in the description, but I think this bigger one from Bosch was nearly 30 quid just for one bit. However, what a difference quality makes. I cannot tell you how crisp and clean these cuts were. I'll show you again in a second. First things first, this wood, very dense. This thing, this Bosch Forstner bit, whatever you call it, it goes through it like absolute butter and it creates the most clean cut you've ever. Look at those shavings. It is razor sharp. I'm very impressed with that. Before this, I would have relied on a spade bit. Now, number one, these things are useless because this is too long. And they just, basically, they're called a spade bit because you might as well be digging stuff out with a shovel, in my eyes. This, incredible, was about 30 quid. But if I can sell 30 of these, say, and I allocate £1 of that to that and then the rest to the pillar drill. All right, I'm going to have to sell a lot of bottle openers, but you've got to break some eggs to make a omelette. Now I'm going to have to switch out to this one so that the bottle has got somewhere to go. The good thing is about these is that because of the little spiky bit in the middle, I've already got my hole to line up. Okay, forget what I said about the little hole spiky things lining up. The trouble with that is the little spiky thing inside of the smaller Forstner bit is smaller than the big spiky thing in the big Forstner bit. So just being a mil or so out, those circles don't line up perfectly. Again, this is a prototype. Hopefully in the real thing, they'll be a bit more accurate. But that's what it's going to look like. For this prototype, I think I might keep it simple. I might just lop it off of there and then start rounding over some of the corners. Somehow. Don't know, just making this up. Right, so here it is, the trimmed down size. Now the reason I'm chuckling is because I've got quite a bit of material to try and take off, and I've seen other people clamp this down to their workbench and use this as, you know, your belt sander thingamabob. And I'm just wondering whether it's safe for somebody like me to do the same. I guess we'll find out together. Probably want a cable tie that's long enough. Or just 2. Right, moment of truth. I mean, There's nothing to say it's going to come apart anytime soon, but then again it might. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of mark an edge that I want to kind of cut to. I don't want it to be too smoothed or anything like that. But what I'd like to do is maybe go in 5mm at the bottom, just so it's a bit more comfortable in the hand. Okay, did that work? Yes. Yes, it did. And in fact, it didn't even take long at all. Maybe 3 minutes to create this tapered look. Now, one thing's for absolutely sure. I definitely need that drill press. Looking at this now, I can see that things aren't quite lined up properly. However, this is a prototype. And as long as it opens my beer at the end of the day, I don't care. As for putting this on here, don't do it like I did. After 2 minutes, I thought, the wood seems to smell like it's burning. Is it burning? It's not. I was blocking that vent. Then I felt it and it feels quite warm. So if I'm to do this in the future, I need to figure out a way to do it safely the other way around. Maybe with some blocks of wood, but this needs airflow. So that's another safety tip for the future. 2 things have nearly blown up or killed me today. Think I'll probably use the orbital sander just to refine this a little bit now. Don't want to risk that again, it's still boiling. So I've just given it a hand sand and I'm actually really pleased with the shape. It's my hand, so it fits nicely because that's what I was working off. But I wanted it so that your thumb would fit along the side. Fingers can wrap around, so it's not too bulky but not too flimsy. I want people to feel like they're getting value for what they pay for. Yeah, these aren't lined up correctly, but that will be fixed with the bench drill. Other than that, I'm really pleased with it. I'm going to put some oil on it in a minute. But just before I do that, there's one more thing I need to do. All smoothed over? Happy with it? In case you're wondering what I went and did. Just a bit of self-indulgence. So the plan is, when I finally get my drill press and figure out whether this prototype's what I'm going with, whether I want to jazz it up, what type of wood I want to use, I'm thinking that I'm going to use my laser, seeing as though I've got it, to actually engrave different messages or whatnot. It's not going to be custom. Loads of people on Etsy doing the whole custom message, and to be honest, with my work life, work outside of woodworking in YouTube, it's not something I want to get into. It's time consuming, you have to be adaptable, people get cross when things aren't delivered on time, and it's not the kind of constraint that I want to go into. Working with smalls anyway is going to be a pain for me because there's not a post office within 10 minutes drive. So I figure this is a good compromise. I'll just say on my Etsy site, post every 3 to 4 days. You can expect it within a week of ordering, and I think that that's probably as good as I'm going to be able to give. But other than that, I am very, very happy with this. Yes, it's not square. No, it doesn't quite line up all right. However, as I said, it's a prototype. Now, of course, I'm planning on selling these things, and I can't, in good conscience, sell it without some product testing. Cheers. If you could take the time to like, subscribe, turn on the bell thingy, I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, cheers.